Welcome to The Taste, everyone. This is your boy, Nick Allen, the source for grassroots entertainment in Houston. I'm the Nick Allen, America's Basis, and I love to explore all the corners of music in the corners of our diverse city. Tonight, I'm going to be sitting with my friend. My partner Cobb is in the house. There you go.
Check. Okay. Yeah, I'm in here.
Yeah,
I'm in here.
He's in there, yeah, and I got my other man in the house, Lumar LaBlanc.
Yes, y'all, and you don't stop.
There you go. So, we're going to be usually bringing the news. We're going to bring the laughs. We're going to bring the groove. Well, don't forget about the commentaries and the countdown. So definitely just check it out for the most part. So, tonight, we're just going to have my man come in and talk about all the different music that happens in today's world, which is really interesting, huh? that the ones that bring controversy, the ones that bring feel good at sometimes, so you know how that could, how that could give somebody a whole feeling or something. That's the goal, though. I just want to make sure that we understand that. You got that, Prof?
All the way. That's the goal, to spark interest.
Of course. So, I've been making sure we got this idea down and stuff. So, you gentlemen ready for tonight?
Indeed.
Ready to roll.
So, good. Well, the first thing we're going to do, I want to go back to the playlist last week so we can kind of know what we're doing. Yeah.
Just vibing off the music.
Oh yeah,
this instrumental hot.
Yeah, that's my intro music. You gotta love that. That's Donald Byrd, man.
Ooh, all right.
So yeah, that's Donald Byrd.
On point.
Yeah. But let's get back to next week to see what happens. There we go. What y'all think of that?
Oh, that was tight. That was awesome.
Yeah,
indeed.
Yeah, that was my picks from last week. A lot of jazz stuff last week. Being a jazz artist, you gotta go ahead and put it out there. Like, why you got to do some jazz, and some people don't like you doing jazz, and some people don't like you doing R&B. So I want to make sure I'm doing a flavor of everything. That's why it's called the Grassroots. This show is for grassroots entertainment, regardless. You dig? But I want to get into my artist for the night. This is my partner, man. Y'all gotta understand, this is my partner. And Lumar LaBlanc, he's the percussionist and the leader of the Soul Rebels brass band, but not alone. He's an educator.
Yeah,
and he also knows this music business just as well as I do a lot. But I'm gonna let him go ahead and get into what his thinking on this whole thing, because this whole thing. Remember, me and you was talking 2 weeks ago about this music business, especially here in Houston,
especially in the age.
Man, it's rough. So I want him to give his taste on it. That's why we call it The Taste. You get a taste of everything. You dig it? Welcome to The Taste, pimp.
You need a show. You need 4 to 5 shows running concurrently to discuss the music industry. I mean, it's a monster.
Because why? It's why it's so difficult.
Well, you have so many different components. First of all, you have an artist who usually just wants to perfect and perform their art. Then you have a business side. Usually their goal is just to make money and to market in lieu of still just making money.
Right.
So with that, you now have this internet, or whatever you want to call it, computer age, where it's so easily accessible, whereas sometimes it doesn't fully benefit the artist, but it benefits the consumer, because all consumers want is the bigger, better deal. So they're able to get music now like no other time in history, but it doesn't appropriate financially usually to some artists. Now you have obviously the more popular artists like a Drake or whoever you want to name, beautiful artists like Beyonce or whatever, who definitely has the talent and they have the goods and they deserve to be compensated. But you also have other artists. Music is not just about who sells the most records.
Right.
Yeah.
Because all type of music touches all type of people in different ways.
Right.
So sometimes it's difficult for artists who are not as popular or with record companies or streaming services in some type of way to get fairly compensated so that they can totally consume their life with creating their artistry and bringing it to the world.
Right.
Then with that, the other part of the music business, like if you want to categorize it, now we're going into letter A, is the managers
Right.
and the promoters and booking entities that have their hand also in the pot wanting to make money off of the artists.
Right.
And that brings a whole nother dynamic. I was fortunate enough to incur a big record company when I went to New York not too long ago, who I think the guy happened to say he signed Bruno Mars.
Word.
And
That's good.
what's the group that played the song, made the song or played the song that the hit that he had?
The 24 Carats or the funk?
Yeah,
Uptown Funk.
Uptown Funk.
Yeah.
It's those cats or whatever.
Well, that was a band that was out of Minneapolis.
Yeah, what's their name? I can't think of their name, but you know.
I know exactly the band name is. They actually stimulate from the Funk Brothers.
Exactly.
That's exactly.
Tones or Dab Tones, something like that.
It's
Dab
coming to me.
Tones or Kings or something. Well, the guy was telling us that back in the day, before the music industry got so engulfed with the streaming and the taking of music, or however it goes, that artists, we would make the bulk of our money if we didn't sell a ton of records off touring. Because touring, we got all our money.
Right.
You know, I mean, you got to give a promoter and a booking agency their percentage, but you were able to get more dollars and assets towards your personal purse back then. But now, because of the way record sales and everything is so diluted, the record companies aren't signing those type of deals. They're giving 360 deals.
Right. They're doing music groups now.
Yeah.
So with the music groups, basically they're taking on you actually pay for the production of your album and all that other stuff, but then they will throw you the pipeline through the the distribution, basically going on and say, hey, we're going to put the marketing plan for you. You pay for that.
Yes.
But the distribution is that we're going to give you all the stuff that you need to pay for, the actual artwork, the actual CD release,
Exactly.
the licensings and all that. They don't pay for nothing anymore. So I mean, it's smart because you keep a handle of all your masters and all that other stuff, so you won't have to go literally in business with them. But the problem is, what I have especially with my record label, is like they take 20% of the sales.
Well,
Because they know someone. That's like, come on, for real. That's
you're really blessed and lucky. I mean, this
we keep
guy,
our masters, but it's just it's 20% of the sales.
This guy here, and he's way up on the food chain in the music business. He's telling us that they sign those guys to what they call 360 deals.
Yeah.
360 deals mean they get a percentage of everything, your merch, percentage of your touring. They're already gonna hit you with the record deal part with sales and all that. That's off the dump. Even the older companies did the older methods involve that, but you usually got all of your merch and your touring, but you don't get that now because the record companies are claiming, with the way music can be attained by the average consumer now, that they're not making the dollars they used to make. So they got to recoup it in other ways.
Right.
But the crazy part about the 360 deal is these artists are coming from they have their own machines built in with the internet.
Right.
So they've already been doing all of the artwork.
Exactly.
They've already been doing all of the merchandise and all of that stuff. Like it's pretty much like the record label is buying a company.
Yes.
And then making money off of that company, and
Of
the artist doesn't even know that they're a company.
Well, Master P changed that whole game.
Yeah.
Master P came in with, he said, I am the record label. What we need is the distribution deal.
Exactly.
That whole idea has actually moved them to the music group.
Yeah.
Now we got Chance the Rapper that came and killed the game again. Say as independently, hey,
that No Limit deal and that Cash Money deal, I don't think we'll ever see anything like
That's
that.
exactly what the guy said,
You're
my
not gonna see
brother.
nothing.
We're dealing with mental telepathy right here. That record exec said we'll never let that happen again.
Exactly.
So
I think
I
they
don't
lost
know.
a lot of money there.
I don't know what level Chance the Rapper's deal is on.
Well,
He's
he
an
went
excellent
independent.
brother.
He went independent.
Okay.
And
Well,
so
that's good.
everything was owned by him.
Okay.
From the publishing to the masters to the everything you can think of. He owns everything.
Well, that's beautiful. I'm so happy for him. Doesn't he come though from a musical family? His father?
I don't have a full amount of
his
history.
dad a preacher or something?
No, his dad worked in politics with Obama in Illinois.
Oh, that's
Well,
beautiful.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Because
That's good.
you get some people here and there. You keep
But I think
moving up.
Chance the Rapper, it was kind of iffy whether he was fully independent or not. I think it was something with his booking. Like maybe I think the tour situation
Right.
may have been with a record label and what they had going on with Live Nation and stuff like that. I think that was iffy if he was fully independent.
See, brother Allen, they own and run so much Live Nation. Every big concert I've done, majority of it has Live Nation's hands on
Well, of course, and iHeart.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
iHeart take over us. I mean, y'all,
How did I mean, I'm I'm young, so Live Nation been around pretty much my whole life. How did that even happen to where Live Nation is having this availability for venues? Because it used to be like people like Wiz Khalifa,
Yes.
they would sign deals with Live Nation where if like let's say the Toyota Center is empty on the day, Live Nation would set up a tour based on those empty dates all around the country.
Yes. Well, basically, this is it. It's an economic type situation. Live Nation has the power and the money to basically front all these endeavors and take the risk where if it still doesn't sell, they're guaranteeing, I would assume, benefits for the venue, like you say, the Toyota Center and things of that nature. They have amassed that type of power. And it used to be where you had probably more independent contractors. Like people might say, I got X amount of $1 million. Let's go ahead and sponsor this tour and put this tour on. But they can't compete with a powerhouse like Live Nation.
Yeah.
So Live Nation just has gobbled up the industry. I mean, they're doing so many things. I wouldn't be surprised if they did the Beyonce on the Run tour. Maybe Jay, as smart as he is, and Beyonce, I don't know, maybe they did it on their own, who knows. But they do so many of the big festivals. They do so many of the big concerts because they basically have the power and the money power to book and do the whole thing on their own, knocking out smaller competitors. I mean, you have people who may have millions, but they don't have billions or like the money Live Nation's able to gather and amass. And Lord knows what else they're, liquidating that money into, what other entertainment endeavors.
Right.
So basically that's what it is. They have the juice to whereas they can probably beat competitors' prices and everything and front money for because when you do concerts, man, if it's not a bona fide big act or act that has a proven record, you taking a risk.
of course. I mean,
If it doesn't sell, that check still got to be cut to not only the artists, to the sound people, the
all that,
production team, to the drivers, to
marketing people,
to
all
the
that.
marketing people,
Yeah.
whoever supplying.
Hopefully it ain't a
food.
festival.
Yeah, so Live Nation is able to say, look, if only one person comes, you still gonna get your check.
Right. That's
So
the best
they
thing about it.
it's just a money thing.
It's always been about money, though. You know that.
It's always been about money, but it's now to the point, man, where things are so streamed down, bruh. It's ridiculous, and it affects our music. I was watching an interview. If I may,
Go ahead.
expound. I was watching an interview yesterday with Brother Baptiste.
Okay.
From New Orleans, who
Yeah.
plays on Colbert.
Yeah.
And John Baptiste.
John Baptiste.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine
Mm-hmm.
through my band member Julian.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a good friend of mine too, because I played music with his uncles and his father and things like that.
Yeah.
So we've developed a good rapport. And John was expounding upon some very good things. Y'all ought to check out the interview he did on the Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the Guy.
Charlamagne.
Charlamagne. And he was saying that it's worse now in a way because things are so streamlined with music. We all get fed the same thing. But by him being a jazz artist,
we cut differently.
Yeah, we cut differently. So he
cut
tries with his music and artistry to expose the youth to so many different
But how do
things.
you do that? Because your biggest challenge is, and that's where we're going into this controversy is. Yeah. But before we get into the controversy, I want to play one of the songs from where you playing from the band.
Okay.
And then we can talk about that controversy.
For sure.
You know, you want to talk about the song, the Black Rebel?
Oh,
yeah.
bit? Well, Soul Rebels' purpose was not just to entertain. It actually started from a brotherhood standpoint. It's a name from Bob Marley. A song that he created called Soul Rebels. We were named by Cyril Neville of the Neville Brothers. So our point of emphasis early on was to have, an upliftment for our people and freedom of expression through music and breaking down barriers. So Black Rebel falls in that line. It basically is a song to signify that at stopping injustice, for some of the cruel punishment that's been going on against the youth, black people in general, and anybody who's oppressed, regardless of your race or ethnicity. And that's the purpose of this song, dedicated to Trayvon, Kaepernick, and women who've been wronged, whatever. So Black Rebel stands for that.
Well, let's listen to it.
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome back to the Taste. We're back here with my people, Lumar LaBlanc from the Soul Rebels Brass Band.
Yes.
And you basically heard his song, Black Rebel, with the rest of the band members. I'm very, very pleased to know you guys. I kind of grew up on you guys as well, before I even got into the scene of, and a lot of people don't know, because when I say American's bassist, this world knows me as this double bass player, and then,
yeah.
And then the little information that they know, I play tuba. I didn't get that big exposure, but I mean, I wound up playing it, but I got that big exposure of not playing tuba.
Well, you're excellent at both. I mean, and I appreciate us being able to be in your musical world.
Oh man, I appreciate you coming here and being on the show. This is
I love this, man.
This is big stuff. But we was just talking about the controversy as much as possible.
Yes.
Everybody in music, like you were saying, all they want to do is make money. It's not even about the actual music anymore.
Right.
Like the controversy that I'm having problems with, I was telling my students, I say, hey, you guys tend to really, 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 really think about. I said, well, Betty, I put it like this: I cannot listen to trap music anymore, and that's because it makes me angry. And I didn't come from that area.
Right.
I came from the area where you snap your fingers, you bob your head, you listen to somebody's story.
Yes.
And their story, like Slick Rick and even NWA. Let's be honest. Their story got with a great beat. Their story got with a complete understanding of where they're coming from, and it was still not derogatory to the point where they were in it for money. No, this is something they love to do.
Oh yes.
And now we in this place is, people got hits, people making Grammys off of the merit of just saying, I'm successful doing this.
Yeah.
I pull out a keyboard and I just hit 1, 2, or 3 things, sync it up, quantize it, and I got a hit song.
See, you're hitting on so many important points. Slick Rick, I just came from New York. We played at the Apollo Theater last week with Slick Rick for a good cause. It was to fight mass incarceration. Global Citizens sponsored the concert. And whenever I'm with knowledgeable people, I talk about these issues.
Right.
Like what you're talking about. I have nothing against the trap because I respect all artists and their imaginative and creative juices, but that should not be the only music that's allowed the affordability to make it. And that's the thing that gets me.
It's going to make it that way anyway. We'll be right back. We got to go
right.
to a commercial.
For sure.
You're listening to The Taste with Nick Allen. I'm still here with my people. My boy Cobb is in the house.
What's going on? What's going on, people?
And I still got my guy over here, Lumar LaBlanc.
Yes, y'all.
I hate cutting off our conversation for these old raggedy. I'm not going to do that.
Don't do that.
For these old commercials. I ain't making no dollar off of that. So, but this is where I'm at. I'm pleased to have you
gotta
guys.
do it.
Yeah, I gotta pay some bills.
That's what pay the bill.
Yeah, let's pay the bills. Man. Now, we sitting here talking about a mess. I don't know about you guys, but I think Washington is more of a mess than the music business right about now.
Oh, Lord. You talking about the White House?
Beyond the White House. The doggone Senate even messy.
Oh, yeah.
Them boys are messy. The Democrats are fighting with the Republicans, talking about how they think, Republicans think the Democrats did that letter thing with what's his name? What's on Brett Kavanaugh.
You talk about the scandal?
Yeah, man. I said, man, these people are a mess.
See, you got to realize, man, with Trump in office, he's opened the door to so much reckless behavior.
Oh, man, don't let me begin on
Even
that.
though it's always been reckless, it may have been more concealed before, but now the veil is off and people really feeling they can say and do whatever they want. And
He definitely proven that.
Yeah.
I can definitely say that. That guy, Captain Cheddar, I call him Captain Cheddar. I don't know that. But that monkey right there. When I tell you that he can piss a person off.
Factual.
It's factual. Yeah, these ain't jokes. These are facts. You dig?
I mean, he's out there.
And I talk about the music industry, but that brother there bring the music industry even to a higher level of intelligence.
His behavior is just a microcosm of the climate that we're expressing. It is.
I get you.
He personifies it. He personifies it to the utmost, where it's all about me. I can do what I want and say what I want to get what I want.
Well,
stop me if you can.
He's completely narcissistic. He's just completely that. He wants to control everything. He talks about everybody and think no one can talk about him. And it's almost like us when we were growing up, bro. Let's be real. You rib me, I'ma rib you back.
Teach.
And if you have the balls to rib me, you better be ready to rib back.
Right.
Because we gonna go back and forth. Your mama, your daddy.
Yeah.
You look like you got a kickstand face. Your drawers smell like the. You dig? You got open brain surgery concept.
Y'all used to rib a lot.
Oh
man.
Everybody
did it.
You smell like goat cheese and motor oil or something. I mean, it's just a whole concept of fuckery.
But
pretty much.
But why did we bring that to the presidency of the United States?
You mean why we brought that to the White House?
Yeah.
Because you know what? I tell you no lie. This guy, y'all know DeVell Crawford, right?
Of course.
DeVell Crawford made it very, very clear that the White House had a black president.
Okay.
But they used to sometimes call him the N-word president.
Uh-huh.
And so the interesting part about that, DeVell Crawford feels like he never did N-word things to be called N-word president.
I would agree.
So, but this clown that we got in there now is completely an N-word.
He's past the N-word.
So
squared, cubed.
Exactly. And some people wonder why I call him Captain Cheddar. First of all, he's orange. But the second part of that is just that, I've never seen nobody so ignorant. I thought George Bush was a little ignorant.
No, not
But
like that.
this one is bionically ignorant.
Bush, not like this
Everything
guy
is
at all.
fantastic.
He's
Great people. I think they love me.
I mean, it's incredible, man. The low level
I think they love me.
of professionality that he brings.
I mean, but are we mad because it's kind of
Quiet as it's kept. I'm not mad. Honestly, there are certain things I like what the brother is doing.
But
he is shaking up Washington. He is really doing
he
that.
is like he's making people actually do their jobs.
I don't know about the doing the job part, but I think he's really shaking up Washington. One of the things that Washington really did need is a big shakeup. But what I can't get with, and I admit to this, the drama he keeps continue to have around him.
I'm not going to even
The drama, man.
allot him any credit about shaking up anything. I mean, it's just deplorable when you see these things, but it's become such commonplace now with his tenure that I know for me it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me either.
Yeah, so every issue, every endeavor he brings usually involves a whole lot of mess,
Right.
if I may italicize it and say it like that, and a whole lot of drama.
Right.
And he doesn't know any other way, but
Right.
the people put him in office, they're willing to put blindfolds on and excuse that because I guess they feel they're getting what they want.
Well, you know what? Let's go back to that music thing that we were talking about. Cobb.
Yeah.
Cobb.
Yeah.
Something that we talked about, and he hit it on the head as far as the part of how musicians in Houston react or the behavior is.
Yeah.
And you and I had this long conversation about the behavior of musicians in Houston, which I don't have a problem with their playing, but I do have a problem with the mentality they have.
Tell me about it. I want to know. I didn't know.
Well, the mentality is very, let's be honest, the church ruined most of these musicians out here. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
Where you and I are from, we have the hustle mentality.
Yeah.
We have the humble mentality.
Okay.
And we have the streets to really put you on game.
Yeah.
Here in Houston, the musicians feel and it's not every musician. And I want to make sure I'm clear. I don't want to put it out there on the record as
Right.
every musician is such thing. But there's two problems that I have with the musicians. And when I use these words, I use these words humbly because these guys can play their booty off.
Yeah.
I mean, they can freaking play.
Right.
But here's the problem I have. You feel that every time you touch an instrument or sit down next to it, you need to get paid.
Oh, okay.
Compared to what we come from,
Oh, Lord.
when we touch instrument, we're not sure if we're going to get paid or not, especially if
Yeah.
we're on the street or hustling.
For sure.
You're not sure if you're going to come down without $100, if $1.
If $1. Yeah.
So that we humble towards that.
Right.
And then the second, if you go to New York and St. Louis, they have that same mentality, that hustle, go get it, grab. It's not so much about the money per se.
No.
It's still about playing the music, and if I get paid, great. I'm happy about it.
Right.
But yeah, I need some money, but this is the point of I know what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah.
Versus now, and the second part is what the musicians here. Now, this is the musicianship part I have a problem with. That these guys can play their butt off, but they don't know what they're playing. And meaning and factual, like none of them really can read music, and that's not a must-see TV concept. It's not a must-see TV. But for you to play at that high level, don't you think you could dig a little bit deeper into your craft and learn a little bit more? Just not so much about reading music, but go study it a little bit differently. Then you can expand a little bit. Don't get caught up right there.
Okay.
In my biggest apartment.
Yeah.
And that's because imagine what you could do with all the stuff you hear from a compositional point of view, or something being taught to you or introduced to you new.
Right.
From a classical point of view or a jazz point of view. What are you going to bring back to the church? See, you guys, what they call choir masters or music directors, what they used to call way back in the day, Kapellmeisters.
Okay.
They worked in the church. Church has been musicians haven't ever since the 1700s. I mean,
Yeah.
You're talking about Beethoven. You're talking about Bach.
Right.
All these guys come from the church.
From the church. Okay.
And they had a high level of respect for the actual artistry to bring. You want to get paid? Now I need to go teach. You need to go find more information about about this music thing, and I need you to come back and retrieve that and teach it to my people. You are the music director.
You're educating me on a whole lot. I mean, your passion so well felt. I mean,
with Cobb, he
Yeah.
was talking about that from the point of view because he was starting some things that were like at some clubs and everything. And every time he moved it around for the club, he's trying to start it.
Yeah.
Like from you and I, me and Lamar probably say, yeah, well, let's do it because we see the vision.
Yeah.
You dig? We are like, let's go. We've been through the hustle thing, but what you may not see every musician here that you go to and say, well, how much is it paying? That's a bad problem for me.
Yeah.
And then a person like me who has a name of this industry, like you, Lamar, and I come to you and ask, hey, I got this project. It's legit. My label going to take care of some of this money and blah, blah, blah. Here's what I can do for you.
Yeah.
I give you all this concept,
Right.
all these amenities, and you're still asking how much you're going to be. So you don't care about the food. You don't care about the recording. You don't care about the BMI. You don't care about none of the residuals, the royalties, anything that was going to come involved.
You want to get paid right now.
You want to get paid right now for your studio session. And how smart are you?
Wow.
That don't make sense to me. Every time I go into the studio with someone new, the first thing I ask, I don't ask how much is it paying. Where is this project going?
Okay. Yeah.
For the purpose of, I need to put my BMI, my record label, all the people who work under me I need them to put my name on it, because every time it hit air, I want pennies. I want my pennies.
It do be pennies.
I want my pennies.
Everybody
It's nothing personal towards it.
jingles.
Now, if I get paid for the session and they ask me, well, I'm not doing much with it. Is they gonna live on the shelf of some of sort?
Yeah.
And hey, I got this amount of money, but it'll be just great to have you on the session. Plus, it'll go a little further with your name and your platform. Okay, not a problem. I don't mind helping.
Right.
So what about like another something that's happening a lot now lately, especially with jazz artists? Artists are bringing jazz artists to play things live so that they can then chop that up and sample that on hip hop records. So how would you go about saying an artist to be paid? Is that like a feature? Would you be
When
paid?
you say like chop it up as for like the like sample just a voiceover
or like
just the music on the keyboard?
Your keyboards, whatever instrument you're playing, they just like, yo, I need you to play this so I can sample and chop it up and I can manipulate this, like you were saying on, you know what I'm saying,
For
like
a track. Or
for a track.
Yeah,
For the purpose of a hip hop track,
Yeah.
it needs to be looped. Well, it goes back to what Chance the Rapper said. That I need to make sure my publishing correct.
I mean,
because it's the idea of work. It's called intellectual property. If I'm playing it, it can be Chance the Rapper's song, and I'm playing it on piano. The idea of work, I need to sign it up.
Yeah.
I mean to say, look, I did the arrangement on this, but I'm gonna have to pay a license to Chance the Rapper for using his idea. But then once the idea get out, I want my pennies for when it comes out. That's just what it is.
I mean, Cobb, it's like, I mean, be honest, the artist should probably get paid. I mean, if like he's saying, if it's an isolated situation where, like a Chance the Rapper or someone would say, well, look, I need you to play a riff and I want to use it in the song. I mean, it's probably just going to be like a work for hire situation.
Pretty much. Like I said, it's going to live on the shelf anyway.
Yeah, it might not, but that's probably what's going to happen. But in the global thing of what you're talking about, Nick, our approach probably is so different from a Houstonian's approach with the music. I mean, New Orleans, the music is our life. I mean, it's our culture. We all being, coming from the brass band jazz world, we all kind of played on the streets, and you see it all over. Guys walking all around with instruments in their hands. You see the kids at the bus stop with drumsticks, mallets, and cymbals in their hands. It's not as big as it was in my era, but it still exists in New Orleans. I mean, you go in the inner city and you go downtown in the CBD and the main tourist district, which is the French Quarter, you're going to hear music all over. You're going to see organized groupings of bands and people playing whole 45-minute to hour sets on the street. And that could easily be taken to a stage in New Orleans. So I would have to say, because of our environment, it's probably a different approach, because I don't see that happening
that's
here.
the Houston versus New Orleans thing. Like I said, we grew up differently.
Yeah.
The hustle idea. I was telling Cobb this. We were just basically talking about it, chopping it up, and letting. I was just saying, this is something I'm just not used to.
Right.
You know,
right.
I'm used to calling one of my comrades and saying, "Hey, I got this project coming. Can you come on in?" And we come a running.
Yes.
And it's never really an argument. You know, it's never really about money involved. You know, you call me many times. Can we do music? And we on some different platforms.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's never a problem. You say, you calling me for some music? Fine. I'm always good to learn new ideas anyway, because I got a solo.
Right.
So I'm trying to keep up with the new ideas.
And your level of exposure and scholarship and everything affords you the ability to deal with many more of the musicians here than I have.
Yeah.
You know, I've always dealt with Houston from.
Well, we can go to talk about the New Orleans musicians. Because
like we bring our own baggage, but
I got plenty balls on that. I got a suitcase.
It's just a different mentality. You know, you're not gonna have the average guy who plays a horn or drums just figure, I can really go on the street and perfect my art. We that's our combine, you know,
right,
for us. You know, we do that for years, and then somebody gives us a break to play on stage or play in a festival. Even some people strike gold and go overseas early before they even do a lot of gigs, and we got parades and second lines. I mean, so New Orleans is really its own.
But you got so much
world.
out there, yeah. Because Houston doesn't have, and I fight with the babies out here, man. I'll be honest with you. I feel so sorry for them, like the students of music, I would call them. It kind of hurts my. They don't have that outlet.
How can they get it? Because that's a big question,
bro. I don't have no ideas. I've been trying to actually work with others. It's just when there's no money in it, it's just hard to do. It's real.
Yeah.
Here in this city, I can honestly say, education rules the money rolls of what the students should learn and what not to learn.
Okay.
So. Practically, you could say, I want to teach the student more ability to do something. Well, is this called private lesson? No, I just want to teach them. So, you know, it's just like that. So, you know, let's go to one of our favorites, one of Louis Armstrong favorites. I pulled up C'est Bon. What you think?
Oh, yes.
The C'est Bon? Yeah. So let's see how C'est Bon come out. Let's try that. Welcome to the Taste. Welcome to the Taste. This is Nick Allen. I'm still here with my guys Cobb and Lumar LaBlanc.
Indeed. Beautiful song.
Yeah, that's Pops, man. You know, we had to put out a New Orleans tribute, you know, being that we're from New Orleans. You know, that's something I've been working on here in Houston too, is like they need a culture in music here. And I've been trying to find that niche and trying to get them to do it, because, you know, like I was telling you earlier, man, they stick like the music, especially jazz right now. Jazz is just stuck into schools. Then it's not really an art; it's a learning tool more than anything.
Wow.
And I hate that it's like a learning tool. Where we come from, it's not a learning tool. It's not even in the schools.
Yeah.
How to play brass band? What?
No, it's
Never.
not in the
No,
schools.
so it's not in the school. You got to go on the streets of New Orleans and check that out.
You definitely do.
And then hopefully you get more, you know, a little bit more education to be more sophisticated, if you could say. But it's there. You know what I'm saying? Here they stick it in the schools, and then the worst part about it, and this is just my biggest opinion, they don't know what to do with it after they stick it in the school and learn it.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, because is so much professionalism here, and it could benefit from an art form like jazz and performing.
Well, yeah, but think about those 4 students that we had when we did the New Orleans thing. Those guys are outstanding players, and they still are outstanding players. Yeah. You know, the only unfortunate thing is they went to college, and that's it.
Yeah, they don't have.
They don't know if they're going to be an artist. They desire to be an artist, but I don't think they know what it is to be an artist, because what the things that we do get on the street is showmanship automatically. So, and these guys have to understand showmanship by modeling off of YouTube or modeling off of what they see live already. They don't get that platform to do it here. No. And so it's so unfortunate, you know?
It is.
So, and I wish to get those guys a little bit more experience. I wish to have taken them to New Orleans.
Yeah, I remember you wanted to do that.
It would really been a culture shock for them. You know?
You can't get the experience just from a YouTube manual lesson. You have to actually interact in it, get the whole vibe from what it means to perform, to work a crowd, to build a set, to build a repertoire, to have a song list. Then you get into the other aspects, how to get, properly compensated, or if you don't, to negotiate on what to get. It's just a whole bundle of things that you have to experience. And like you said, we're blessed in New Orleans. We learn that on the street,
right,
from the most authentic ground level up, actually hustling on the streets,
right.
But it's remarkable because I see Houston wants to make that. They want to make that push.
Yeah,
they want to be an environment that has a cultural identity and attracts people from all over the world to come to the city to experience, and I guess ultimately spend dollars here, but just to help the environment grow. But I want to hear from you. Yeah, bro, I want to hear from you.
Because, I mean, Houston, I think we have a cultural identity, but I think the kids have grown and been influenced by everything that we kind of want the ability to go forth and just say, all right, cool, like we have this cultural identity and this is what this was, but moving forward we'll be known as this.
Right.
And I think it's a push and pull from like the old heads and the new kids, the newcomers, and saying like, yo, we want to reestablish what's going on in Houston.
Okay.
Right.
So when you say that, like, let's just say someone like a Travis Scott. Would you say he's a purveyor, a carrier of the culture of Houston?
Yeah. And I like Travis Scott a lot because he actually infuses some of the old in with the new.
Yes, definitely does. So when you say that, with your previous statement, you're saying like people like that personify an authentic Houston presence.
Yeah.
And they bring it to the world. And that is one of the colors, of the spectrum that people identify with now to be what a Houstonian is, or what Houston culture is. It's like a Travis Scott.
You have the Travis Scotts, and then you have people, like shout out to Dave Dollar $ign.
Okay.
He just wants to rap. Because he was influenced by Scarface.
Okay.
So that's another influence of Houston that Travis Scott may not have been influenced by.
Right.
So, he just wants to rap, and he wants, there's rappers in Houston too who are lyrical and who could tell stories and et cetera, et cetera. And it's kind of like we can do it. I don't understand why we can't do it all, and why Houston has to have a necessary sound, rather than it just being culturally based.
Well,
what you say about that, Nick?
I mean, they can't get their sound, and that's I don't know how to answer the sound part, is because I don't think they understand, and I don't want to say think. I don't think with the powers to be. If we could get the powers to be to understand that there is a music culture here,
right,
then it will develop a sound. And it's because what happens is, what I see here, they feel like they don't make music off. I don't know if this is true, but I don't think they make a lot of music off of local artists. Okay, so they bring big artists here, and it overshadows everything they do. I said this is about the Super Bowl maybe 2 or 3 years ago. This is the chance to put your biggest artists in this city on the platform. The Sufflers. You should have had. I'm talking about local.
For sure.
The Suffers should have been there. You know,
Right.
you had. I would have said Chameleon. I would have said Big Pun. Not Big Pun. I'm sorry.
Big Mo.
Not Big Mo. Bun B. I would have had a couple of those guys just to to show the diversity, to show the width of what we have here. And I think the problem right, exactly. I still say the same thing.
Wow.
You continue to bring large artists here that's overshadowing your local artists,
stars.
and they're getting the world stage.
That's something that.
And they get in the world stage. Think about that, because the same thing goes for like in New Orleans. We had the NBA, and the world stage went straight to Trombone Shorty.
Yeah,
that's us.
That's us. Yeah.
So they was not about the show. And then guess what? The same thing it was said about the Super Bowl. I think it's in 21, 22.
Right.
We're gonna put our artists out there, and that's what New Orleans is about.
See,
they embrace.
Yeah.
New Orleans culture and the whole thing, and then the funny part about it, they embrace. It's like bounce music. What's that boy name? This big tall,
Which one?
the gay guy.
I play with him all the time. He's awesome.
What's his name?
I want you to think.
He's a
I
whoa.
know the name.
Big Frida.
Big Frida.
Yeah, he's
I
the
was
face
waiting for
of
you to say it.
he's the face of bounce music.
But see, New Orleans, man, that's Cobb. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
See, it's a total different mentality. We first start from culture, flavor, cuisine, dialect, and all that first.
Yeah.
Right.
So we done put all our chips on that. And that could be a good and a bad thing, but really that's how we approach the game. We're gonna pervade this, we're gonna support and put this one commodity, which is New Orleans, the food, the music, the dialect, the swag, and that's what we're gonna roll with. When I see Houston, Texas, like when I came here back in the 80s, when I finished from TSU, it was a whole nother approach. And it sparked my interest because all I knew was New Orleans. But when I was exposed to Houston, I kind of felt a little better, like it's not all about one thing. It has some other things involved.
Yeah.
In getting ahead in this environment. But you still have to have some cultural entities,
Right.
I guess, that you can market in order to, get a tourist element to come and attract them to your city. And that's the part. Like you said, Bun B, I played with him not too long ago also at a concert. They're pushing him in the forefront now. I see when Houston wants to present their package, he's part of the package. But I have to,
Which is good.
acquiesce to the Houstonian. What is the package? Tell me what is the package that's being presented when you want to show the world this is what Houston is.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, we'll be right back. We're gonna play one of your numbers off of your playlist, Nas.
Oh, for sure.
And
That's
then-
the man.
and then we're gonna
go
get to my commentary, and then we're gonna come back to the countdown. I'll tell you about that.
All right, for sure.
So right now, I'm going to actually do my next commentary at this point right now, and basically, the commentary always built off things that makes my ass itch. So let me give you something that makes my damn ass itch. Last Thursday, I attended the Nick Cannon Wildin' Out concert and it just had all the beautiful people. It's such a beautiful occasion just to see humans being dressed in their best and acting uppity and doing a diplomatic thing. And he posed the question to me: what is something too a person too old or too grown to be doing. I believe a person is too grown and too old to be doing a capturing every moment using slings such as turn up for the purpose of showing off that you bought tickets for the Wildin' Out outside. That is just disgraceful. It should, and it's a bit shameful that you intrigued with the idea of letting your Facebook constituents know that you have at least bought some tickets and you wasn't turned up or lit. Now, you remind you, you're about 40 years old and you should not have, and you got grays in your hair. And I'm not understanding, why are you turned up? You should be there drinking socially and being very diplomatic. But hold on. You holding on your cellular up in the air and downward position and reporting like you a journalist, like you getting paid for it in the halls of the arena. Well, let's hope that you were not on a date, or as it was your wife, because if the date it was okay with that, or your wife was okay with it, or your husband was okay with your behavior, this implies that your date on your husband, your wife, was possibly not that bright of a person and didn't care how you actually looked on that's the record. I will hope that you trust all the people on your Facebook live stream is cool as well, because you just willingly and openly your doors at your house for burglary and just complete validation of robbery. So you just been Kavanaughed for some odd reason, just raped. I don't understand why, and you shouldn't have to do that. But this is the new concept, things that possibly makes my ass itch. So, Cobb, you got anything that makes your ass itch?
I do.
It just makes my ass itch. I don't know. It's something that makes my ass damn itch.
One of the things that makes my ass itch will probably be Kanye in his MAGA hat. I don't really know what he's trying to prove. Like, we told his ass the first time, yo, that's not cool. That's not, you're not getting no points off of that. Let that be.
I don't get it.
Then on Saturday,
he comes back in
He
a
was
Coke
on
bottle.
Saturday Night Live, right?
with the MAGA hat.
With a damn Coke bottle around his whatever.
Well, I think he was posing as a Perrier bottle.
Yeah.
I don't
water.
give a you boy.
It don't matter. He is too
trifling. This is just.
I think Brother Kanye, I still have faith. I'm serious.
You the only one.
I
Definitely the only one.
Because
I'm done with it. I took him out my race a long time ago. I was ready for him to go with the giraffes. I don't care.
oh Lord, you know, man, he's went through so many personal probably changes with his mom, and
So, don't we all?
for sure, and right, you're right. But people handle things differently, and I think it first comes from an internal journey that he's having some conflict with. But you know, we got to hold on to our black people. We got to try to keep our arm around them because we don't want to totally lose them. And he's a precious jewel. I have to say he's a talented brother. Unfortunately, some things, you know,
He's crazy.
he said are not in line with helping our culture, but he probably thinks he is.
Have y'all ever dealt with losing a star before? Because this is my first time. I'm like, I can't believe it was Kanye.
You mean losing a black star?
Yeah, like just,
it happens all the time. I mean, we just
James Brown was one of them.
I ain't gonna say that about Brother James. But I'm saying you got to realize that's you're segueing right into what I'm saying. This industry is so wicked. Mm-hmm. You have to comply and assimilate. That's the term I want to use so many times. Mm-hmm. You know, and especially an artist of his caliber, he's probably to the point, he can probably do anything he wants to do, but his life is probably assimilated into something that he's so intertwined in that, you know, you kind of lose perspective. And so it happens to all the time. I mean, all of our artists sometimes have to compromise. You know,
Well,
unfortunately.
we up for our countdown right now.
Okay.
So I love this part about the segment because it's all featured Houston artists.
Good.
And it's the platform that music needs to be on the radio and get acknowledged. This first artist, this is number 5 for me by Jay Plies. His song called Round. Interesting. He's newly on my countdown. I found him on someone's Facebook, and it's amazing that he has a couple of musicians that I know by. Shout out to my man Johnny, bassist, my bassist Conrad from Clockwork. And I saw him on there, and I said, man, this is a great song, man. So, I just definitely wanted to put the guy out there. And just make sure you hear what he's doing, For sure. So this is Jay Plies.
And life keeps moving on. Oh, yeah. These growing pains.
All right, guys. So we gotta close out this show, man. But man, it's been something. You know what I'm saying? It's been something. Wait, you gotta tell me one time, Cobb. Say it one time. Welcome to the taste.
Welcome to the taste.
Welcome to the taste.
That's it. That's what I'm talking about. Man, I want to thank everybody that's here. I got my Cobb man. My man Cobb is in the house. I say my man. I think I say that one a little ass backwards. And then I got my man Lumar LaBlanc. Man, you got to come back again, bro.
Yes. I'll be awesome.
It'd be great to have you. I can't wait to play next week's playback. When you hear this is going to be like funny. You're going to have all the funniest stuff.
I'm going to tune in.
Yeah,
sure.
Tune in, man. Tune in. This is going to be at the top of the hour anyway, so and you can always catch it on a podcast as well, guys. Just for the record, just look up The Taste, and it's on the podcast, so you can actually get
to it. The Taste,
definitely,
indeed,
definitely. Man, I want to tell everybody good night. Thank y'all for coming and listening to us talk about that music business, the chaos in the White House, all that craziness. Why my ass is itching,
Oh Lord, stay away from that.
all that stuff.
From that.
You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you guys.
Peace,
guys.
All
Thank
right.
you. Welcome to the Taste. We'll be back next week at the same time, same bat channel. Later.